Have you ever sat through a documentary about early humans? You know, the ones with the dramatic music and the guys in furs hunting mammoths? And thought about the one question that never actually makes it into the textbooks? It's the question that isn't in the museums or the serious nature specials, but let's be honest, we've all thought about it. These people lived in tiny groups, maybe 20 or 30 people, sharing a single cave or a cramped open-air camp. They were together literally every second of every day. And yet, like every living creature to ever walk this earth, they reproduced. So the question is, how on earth did they find any privacy? How did they manage to be, well, intimate, without an audience?
The answer is actually a lot more fascinating than you might think, and it tells us something deep about what it means to be human.
First off, we need to bust a major myth. When most of us imagine a caveman home, we picture one giant, dark, smelly room where everyone is huddled together like a really uncomfortable dorm with stalactites. But real archaeological sites tell a totally different story. Take the Altamira Cave in Spain, the Lascaux Cave in France, or the massive Niah Cave in Sarawak, Malaysia. These aren't just rooms, they are sprawling, complex underground systems with tunnels, hidden alcoves, and secondary chambers that stretch hundreds of meters into the earth. Archaeologists have found that early humans didn't just hang out at the entrance, they mapped out their homes.
There were collective sleeping areas, cooking zones, and almost certainly private back rooms deeper in the cave where they didn't leave much of a mess. And in archaeology, a lack of trash in a specific spot is often a sign of a very specific private use.
But here's the kicker. Most early humans didn't even live in caves. That's a huge misconception. If you were living in the warm climates of Africa or Southeast Asia, a cave would be the last place you'd want to be. Most of our ancestors lived in open-air camps, under the canopy of a tropical forest or out on the vast savanna. And in those environments, privacy worked differently. And in some ways, it was even easier to find. Think about it. If you're in a group of 20 people in a landscape that stretches for thousands of miles, finding 200 meters of solitude isn't exactly a mission impossible. The landscape itself, the tall grass, the bend of a river, the dense forest brush, was their walls and doors.
Now, let's talk about the real secret sauce of prehistoric life: social technology. This is something anthropologists call collective inattention, or tactful blindness. It's a fancy way of saying that if something is happening that isn't your business, you simply don't see it. You don't hear it, you don't acknowledge it, and you definitely don't talk about it the next morning.
This wasn't a sign of being primitive. It was a highly sophisticated social rule. In a tiny tribe where everyone depends on everyone else for survival, the ability to give someone psychological privacy, even when they're physically close, is the glue that keeps the group from falling apart. We see this in modern hunter-gatherer societies today. Famous anthropologists like Colin Turnbull, who lived with the Mbuti people in the Congo, and Elizabeth Marshall Thomas, who studied the Kung in the Kalahari, documented this exact thing. Then there's the factor of time. Our modern lives are ruled by the 9-to-5 grind, but prehistoric life was much more fluid. Activities like hunting or gathering fluctuated based on the sun and the seasons. This created natural windows of time where the camp would be nearly empty. Maybe the hunters are out for the day and the gatherers are a mile away in the woods. Suddenly, the camp is quiet. There were also the magic hours of dawn and dusk. In many traditional cultures, people have staggered schedules. Some head out early to scout, others stay behind. These natural rhythms created pockets of solitude that we often overlook in our busy, scheduled world. And we can't forget the most effective privacy curtain of all, the night. We live in a world of artificial light. We flick a switch and the darkness disappears. But for our ancestors, the only light was the fire.
Once you stepped more than 10 or 15 feet away from that flickering orange glow, the darkness was absolute.
To someone sitting by the fire, your eyes adjusted to the light. You effectively vanished into the blackness just a few steps away. Night wasn't just a time for sleep, it was a physical shield.
And because prehistoric sleep patterns were polyphasic, meaning they didn't just sleep 8 hours straight like we try to do, people were up and down throughout the night, creating even more opportunities for private moments while others dozed. So, how did they do it? They did it through a beautiful combination of clever architecture, the vastness of the wild, and a deep cultural respect for one another. They used the darkness as a blanket and silence as a wall. They found ways to be alone together, because that's what humans do. It reminds us that no matter how much our technology changes, from caves to skyscrapers, our fundamental need for connection and the private spaces that nurture it has always been the same. They weren't just surviving the wilderness, they were mastering the art of being human. And honestly, I think we could learn a thing or two from their tactful blindness today. Next time you see someone having a moment, maybe just don't look. It's the ancient human thing to do. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.